study called as Phaeophyceae. Phaeophyceae, it is also called as brown algae. Phaeophyceae is called as brown algae. So this algae always grows in the marine environmental conditions. It grows in the marine environmental conditions. Here in brown algae, the algae is in the simple form as well as branched form also. So here the size of the algae is small. Small forms are there, simple forms are there, as well as complicated forms are also there. So here it may be simple, branched, or it may be filamentous. So here the algae may be simple as well as branched forms, or it is also called as filamentous forms can be noticed. So simple filamentous can be noticed in ECTOCARPUS. The algae called as ECTOCARPUS. In this there is the presence of simple branched filamentous algae is present. Now we will go for the profusely branched, numerously branched. Profusely branched algae is called as kelp. Here, numerously branched algae is also present, called as kelp. So this kelp is also called as, it is called as the forest of sea. It is called as the forest of sea, which even can reach to a height of 100 meters. So it grows and reaches to a height of 100 meters. Like this, there is a huge macroscopic algae called as kelp. Now we will go for the next one. In Phaeophyceae, there is a presence of a green pigment called as chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C. So there is a presence of chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C is present in this algae, and it also has a pigment called as xanthophyll. It has a pigment called xanthophyll. So this xanthophyll is nothing but which is present in the brown algae, and the brown algae also has various colors. It has various colors of being present. So it varies from olive green. So here the brown algae color varies from olive green to various shades. It leads to various shades of being present, and this is various shades of brown. So here I will repeat this. There is a presence of the olive green to various shades of brown colored pigments are being present in the brown algae, and here this depends upon the pigmentation. So depending upon the amount of pigmentation, the color shades varies from one to the another one. So here there is a presence of xanthophyll pigment. There is a presence of xanthophyll pigment, and the other one is called as fucoxanthin. So xanthophyll, fucoxanthin are present in them. Because of the amount of this pigmentation, the color is going to be varied. Now we go for the next one. In laminaria, so in laminaria, or it is also called as mannitol. It is also called as mannitol. So in this, the reserve food material is in the form of complex carbohydrates. Here, the reserve food, there is a presence of reserve food is in the form of complex carbohydrates. So, complex carbohydrates are being present in this laminaria and mannitol. And this cell has a presence of cell wall. The cell has a presence of cell wall, and this cell wall is composed of cellulose. That is the presence of the cell wall is composed of. The cell wall is made up of cellulose, and this cellulose is covered by the outermost covering is made up of. The cellulose is covered by or outermost. There is a presence of the gelatin coat or gelatinous covering. Gelatinous covering called algae. So this is important. Here the cell wall has a presence of cellulose, and this cellulose outermost there is a gelatinous covering. This gelatinous covering is called as algae. It is called as algae. So this is the important character. Now we go for the other one. In a cell there is a presence of the protoplasm contents. There is a presence of protoplasm contents. So the word protoplasm, this is called as the inner content of the cell. In this there is a presence of plastids. There is a presence of the green pigment or chloroplast. Like this, plastids are being present, and it also has a presence of central located vacuoles. There is a presence of central located vacuole is present, along with it also has nucleus. So here the protoplasm or the inner content of the cell has a presence of plastids, central located vacuoles, and the nucleus is also being present in this. In some of the brown algae, the plant body is attached to the substratum. It is attached to the substratum. So here, once it is attached to the substratum, in the presence of holdfast. So there is a presence of the holdfast. So this holdfast helps in attaching, or it is attached to the substratum. And there is a presence of stalk-like structure. The plant body has the presence of stalk-like structure called as style. The stalk-like structure is called as style, and the leafy structures or leaf-like structures are called as fronds. I repeat this. The plant body of an algae, usually it is attached to the substratum. So that attachment is by the holdfast. Holdfast helps in attaching to the substratum, and it also has a stalk-like structure, and this stalk-like structure is called as style, and it also has a leaf-like structures. So the leaf-like structures are called as fronds. So these fronds are photosynthetic. These fronds are photosynthetic. So meaning of photosynthetic, they have been preparing their own food. So this is about the plant body. I am going to repeat this. There is a presence of reserve food material in the form of complex carbohydrates, and the cell wall is covered by cellulose. Cellulose outermost covering is gelatinous covering called as algae, and it also has the contents called as plastids, vacuoles, nucleus is being present, and the plant body has been attached to the substratum in the presence of holdfast, and the stalk is called as style, and the leaf-like structure is called as fronds, helps in photosynthesis. So we go for the next heading called as vegetative reproduction. So here the vegetative reproduction is by the fragmentation. So here the word vegetative reproduction, meaning of this, the vegetative parts of a plant body helps in reproduction. So vegetative parts of a plant body helps in reproduction, and here it is called as fragmentation. So the meaning of fragmentation. Here the plant body is cut into pieces. Here the plant body is cut into pieces, that each piece is developing into new plants. So that type of reproduction is called as fragmentation. Now we go for the next one called as asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction. So here the meaning of asexual reproduction, here a single individual help in reproduction but gametes are not formed. Gametes are not formed. A single individual help in reproduction is called as asexual reproduction. Here the asexual reproduction is by the bifragulated zoospores. Bifragulated zoospores. So this bifragulated pear-shaped zoospores are being present. It is in the form of pear shape. So bifragulated pear-shaped zoospores are being present. And here the word two flagellars are being present in the spore. So these two flagellars are always unequal laterally attached flagellars. I repeat this, the flagellars are unequal flagellars and they are laterally attached. One will be the longer and the other one will be the shorter. But still we call bifragulated zoospores helps in asexual reproduction. Next, we go for sexual reproduction. So the word sexual reproduction, here there is a formation of gametes. So once the formation of gametes takes place, they are called as sexual reproduction. Here the sexual reproduction is of different types. One is called as isogamous. The word isogamous, it is nothing but there is a presence of similar type of gametes are fused, or the fusion of similar type of gametes is called as isogamous. It is present in brown algae, as well as it also has anisogamy. Anisogamous. The meaning of anisogamous, here the fusion of different types of gametes. The gametes are not similar. Different types of gametes are fused, hence it is called as anisogamous. And it is also has the presence of oogamous. So the meaning of oogamous, here the fusion of the female gamete which is larger, non-motile. The female gamete which is larger and non-motile, and the fusion of male gamete with the male gamete is smaller and motile. I repeat this, the fusion between female gamete which is larger, non-motile, female is non-motile, male gamete is smaller and it is motile. These gametes are fused is called as isogamous. And the other important one is for the fusion of gametes, for the union of gametes, they require water. Here the water is required for the fusion of male gamete and female gamete, or the fusion of gametes they require water. So this is usually the reproductions, vegetative reproduction, asexual and sexual reproduction. Now we go for the examples of brown algae. So we go for different types of examples of brown algae. So one of this is called as ECTOCARPUS. This is called examples of brown algae, ECTOCARPUS. Second one, or we go for the next one is macrocystis. So macrocystis, and the other one is called as dictyota. So dictyota is also one of the marine algae, dictyota, and the other one is called as laminaria. Laminaria is commonly called as kelp. As I mentioned, the forest of sea, or we call it as forest of sea, is called as Laminaria or kelp. The other one is called sargassum. The other one is called sargassum. Sargassum is also called as gulf weed. They are called as gulf weeds. And the other example is called as fucus. So this fucus is commonly called as rock weed. It is called as rock weed. So all this are nothing but some of the examples. So whereas in the microcystis, this microcystis is also called as the perennial algae. It is the largest perennial algae. This is important. The microcystis is largest perennial algae. The word perennial, it is present for many number of years. So it is called as perennial algae where there is a lot of potassium in it, or potash is present in this algae. So microcystis or macrocystis has a presence of source of potash. So this is about the different types. Whereas in the laminaria and fucus, there is a source of iodine. Here there is a presence of iodine will be present in the laminaria as well as fucus. Iodine is present. So this is about the phaeophytes. Now we will go for the next one called as rhodophytes. So rhodophytes is commonly called as red algae. So we are going for the third one, and the third one is called rhodophytes. So rhodophytes is also called as red algae. So here, this red algae has the presence of a red pigment. Algae has a presence of red pigment, and this red pigment is called. There is a presence of red pigment, and this red pigment is called as phycoerythrin. So it is called as phycoerythrin. Is called as the red pigment present in the algae, and this also has a presence of a green pigment called as chlorophyll. There is a presence of the green pigment called as chlorophyll. Here it has a presence of chlorophyll A and D is present in the red algae. So these are nothing but the pigments present. This green pigment A and D chlorophylls, they help in photosynthesis. They help in preparing their own food, hence it is called as photosynthetic in function. So they help in photosynthesis, hence they are called as photosynthetic algae. Next, the red algae is always, it is a marine algae. It is a marine algae. So the meaning of marine algae, they are present in the marine water, salt water, and it is also present in some of the warmer areas also. It is present in the marine water as well as it is also present in some of the warmer areas. So this is about occurrence. So occurrence of this algae is marine algae or marine water as well as it is present in various places like warmer areas. Now we go for one of the red algae. So one of the red algae is called as batrachospermum. So it is called as, the red algae is called as batrachospermum. So this is one of the red algae. So this red algae is present in the fresh water. This is important. So majority of the algae, all the algae are present in marine water, but the red algae called as batrachospermum is present in the fresh water like rivers. In the reverse, there is a presence of batrachospermum. They are also, the red algae is also present at the depths of the oceans, depths of the rivers. There is both. It is present in the fresh water as well as marine water. There is a presence of the batrachospermum. So here, this red algae has the presence of the red pigment phycoerythrin and a green pigment called as chlorophyll A and B. They help in photosynthesis. Whereas they occur in the marine water and the fresh water algae is batrachospermum. Next, the red algae is always multicellular. So the word multicellular, it has the presence of many cells. Here, there is a presence of many cells are there. Hence, we use the word multicellular algae. So here, there are many cells together forms the algae. So hence, it is called as multicellular algae. And the reserve food present here. Reserve food present in the red algae is very important, called as Floridian starch. There is a presence of Floridian starch is called as the reserve food material present in the red algae. So this Floridian starch has this is similar to the presence of amylopectin. It is similar to amylopectin and glycogen. So we can see this in the higher organisms, there is a presence of glycogen. So the Floridian starch is more or less similar to the amylopectin and glycogen. This is nothing but the reserve food material present in the red algae. Now we go for reproduction. The first one is called as vegetative reproduction. So the vegetative parts helps in reproduction, hence they are called as vegetative reproduction. The vegetative reproduction is again by the fragmentation. There is a presence of the plant body is cut into pieces. So each piece develops into a new individual is called as fragmentation type of reproduction. So we go for the next one called as asexual reproduction. So here the asexual reproduction is nothing but one individual help in reproduction, and it is always by the non-motile spores. We use the word non-motile. Non-motile spores are being produced. Here the plant body produces the spores that cannot move. They cannot move. Hence it is called as non-motile. Spores are being produced by the asexual reproduction in red algae. We go for the next one called as sexual reproduction. The sexual reproduction is nothing but the formation of gametes. Here the gametes usually it is non-motile gametes. The gametes produced here is called as non-motile gametes. The sexual reproduction is nothing but the formation of gametes. And this formation of gametes, here the gametes never move. They are always called as non-motile gametes. And it is always called as oogamous type of reproduction. Here the word oogamous. So the meaning of oogamous, the female gamete is larger, non-motile, and the male gamete is smaller and motile. The fusion of this gametes is called as oogamous type. So I repeat this: oogamous is nothing but the fusion of the female larger gamete, non-motile, and the male smaller gamete with motile, both fused together to form oogamous type. So we go for the next one. So this is nothing but the reproductions in the red algae. So red algae Example, one of this is called as Bactericospermum. Bactericospermum, red algae. In this red algae, the female sex organs, the female sex organ is called as carpogonium. It is called as carpogonium. So it is called as carpogonium is called as the red algae. So this is the sex organ, carpogonium. This is called as the female sex organs of Bactericospermum. And the male sex organs, of Bactericospermum. This is commonly called as antheridium, or it is also called as spermatangium. It is also called as spermatangium, or it is also called as antheridium. So here, the male sex organs produces male gametes. The carpogonium produces female gametes. They are fused together to give rise to the new individual. Now we go for the examples of red algae. The examples of red algae. One is called as Polysiphonia. So one of the red algae is Polysiphonia, and the other red algae is PORPHYRA. This is called PORPHYRA. So this is Polysiphonia, PORPHYRA, Gracilaria, Genidium. Even this is the other algae. Next, Rodinia. It is also called as Rodinia. And the other algae is Redmonia, Genidium, Gracilaria, Polysiphonia, PORPHYRA, Bactericospermum. All these are the examples of red algae. So whereas Rodinia, this algae is used for the human consumption. Human consumption as a food, this is being taken. Human consumption, Rodinia is taken. So this is about the other characters of red algae. Now we step to the next one called as economic importance of algae. So we start with the next heading called economic importance. So we have completed three. One is called as green algae, chlorophysi. The second one is called as pheophysi, brown algae, and the third one is called as the red algae, rhodophysi. So these three are the classifications of the algae. Now we start with the next heading called economic importance. Economic importance of algae. So here we know that the algae is present both in fresh water as well as marine water. So the large number of algal forms used as a food for the different marine animals, or in the marine water, it forms the food. One of this is called as Porphyria. It is called as Porphyria and Laminaria. Laminaria is nothing but kelp. Like this, sargassum. All this used as a food. So all this used as a food for the marine animals as well as for the other animals. They are used as a food. So here, first function or first use, economic importance, they are used as a food. The second one, the marine brown algae. The marine brown algae, so produces algae. There is a presence of the cellulose is covered by a gelatinous covering called as algae. So this algae or this algae has the presence of hydrocolloids even in some red algae. So I am going to repeat this. There is a presence of the brown algae and some of the red algae has the presence of hydrocolloids. So these hydrocolloids are nothing but water holding substances. So they are nothing but they are fibrous water holding structures. They are fibrous structures which hold water. Which hold water. So they are called as water holding substances and they are required for the seedlings, for the transport of seedlings, for the germination of seedlings. All these are required. So it is usually used for transport or water holding substances present in the hydrocarbons. Next, we go for another one called as Gelidium. Gelidium Gracilaria. So here the algae called as Gelidium and Gracilaria. These algae are used in the microbes growth. Microbes growth. Growing of the microbes. So they help in growth of the microbes and here it produces a material called as agar or it is called as agar. This agar is required for the preparation of ice creams. Ice creams, jellies. So here it is used in the preparation of ice creams and jellies is produced in the presence of agar. So this yields agar, the plant which yields agar, they are also called as agrophytes. I repeat this, the plants which yield, the algae which yields agar, they are called as agrophytes. Next. So we go for the other one called as the chlorella. The other one called as chlorella, green algae, chlorella and spirulina. So here there is a presence of a green algae called as chlorella and spirulina. So these two green algae has lot of rich protein food. They have the presence of rich protein food, hence this is used as a food. This algae is used as a food supplement or it is used as a food in the animals as well as humans also. Some humans also can consume this. Next, we go for the other one. There is a presence of the primary productions or the primary producers. The primary producers, they produce the rich energy compounds or we call it as energy rich components are being produced. They are usually they produce for this has the presence of the food cycles. I repeat this. The primary producers. The primary producers has the presence of energy-rich compounds, and this constitutes found in the food cycles. Food cycles for all the aquatic animals. They are found in food cycles for all the aquatic animals. Aquatic, marine animals, it forms the food. So this is one. And one more. Very important is, we know that for the photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is required. So here, some majority of the algae helps in carbon dioxide fixation. Carbon dioxide fixation, this is estimated that half of the total production, half of the carbon dioxide fixation takes place by the algae. So here, at the time of photosynthesis, they help in the formation of carbon dioxide fixation, and this carbon dioxide fixation is carried out by the algae. Is half of the total carbon dioxide fixation takes place, and it also helps in the algae also helps in the dissolving of oxygen. They help in the dissolving of oxygen, and they help in controlling pollution, or it helps in purification of air or purifying air. So here they help in absorption or dissolving the oxygen, and they help in purification of air. So this is about economic importance of algae. So we start with the next one called as the classes of algae and the main important characters of the algae. So we are going to this in the form of a tabular column. So we start with the first one called as class Chlorophyceae. So this Chlorophyceae is commonly called as green algae. That it is commonly called as green algae, and the pigments present in this green algae is chlorophyll A and B. Chlorophyll A and B is present in the green algae. And the reserve food material present in the green algae is always called as starch. Starch is being present, and the cell wall is made up of cellulose. So cellulose is present in this. Next, when we go for the flagella and the position of the flagella, when we start with this, there is a presence of 2 to 8 equal flagellas are being present. They are always present at the apex. So this is 2 to 8 equal apical flagellas are being present. Next, when we go for the habitat, the habitat is nothing but place where they are growing. That is called as habitat. It is present both in fresh water, brackish water, and salt water. Salt water is nothing but marine water. So in all this, it is been present. The examples of Chlorophyceae is CHLAMYDOMONAS, Ulothrix, Volvox, Chara. All these are some of the examples of the green algae. So when we go for the next one, called as the brown algae, Phaeophyceae. The class Phaeophyceae, and it is commonly called as brown algae. So this brown algae has the presence of major pigments. So the major pigments is chlorophyll A and C is being present, and along with this there is a presence of fucoxanthin. This is a brown pigment. Fucoxanthin is present, and the reserve food present in the brown algae is in the form of mannitol, laminarin. Laminarin as well as mannitol is a reserve food material present. Next, the cell wall composition is cellulose, and it is covered by a gelatinous sheet called as algin, or it has a presence of alginic acid. This is about one. And the flagella is, there is a presence of two unequal flagellas. Unequal flagellas, and they are laterally arranged, laterally present. Next, the habitat is, it has the presence of the fresh water, brackish water, and the salt water or marine water. And the examples for the brown algae is ECTOCARPUS, LAMINARIA, Dictyota, Sargassum. All these are some of the examples. So we go for the third class, the class Rhodophyceae. They are commonly called as red algae. So here in this class Rhodophyceae red algae, there is a presence of the major pigments is called as chlorophyll A as well as D. Chlorophyll A, D is present, and it also has a presence of a red pigment called as phycoerythrin. Phycoerythrin is being present in there. And the reserve food material present in this red algae is Floridian starch. The Floridian starch is been present, has a red pigment. Starch reserve food is Floridian starch. Then we go for the cell wall composition. Here the cell wall has the presence of cellulose. So whereas in this red algae, the flagella or the movements are not present. The flagella position as well as the number of flagellas are totally absent. This algae do not have any sort of flagellates. Next, when we go for the habitat, so they are present in the fresh water, brackish water, salt water, or it is called as marine water. The examples of Polysiphonia, examples of this red algae is Polysiphonia, PORPHYRA, Gracilia, Gelidium. All these are some of the examples of red algae.